Hey guys, welcome back to Sex with Ace. My name is Solani M and I am the sex conversationalist. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you, and thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. If you're new, please look around your screen. I'm pretty sure there's a red subscribe button somewhere there. Tap on it, join us, and let's chat about sex, baby. I wanted this week's video to be like a review and a more personal video and less of a me just talk about issues or topics or concepts. I just wanted to talk about myself. So I thought, let me make up a list of, or not make up, think of a list of 5 things that I actually regret in my life where it relates to my sexual interactions and just sexual life. So yeah, let's just hop into some regrets. I'll probably do more of these regrets videos, but not often because not often because I don't think I'll have much. I don't think I'll have much regrets, and I think obviously the older I get, the more clearer and the more aware of myself I am, the more clearer of the sexual encounters that I actually want for myself. So I think the older I get, the more in rhythm one becomes with their own sexual life. The first thing I want to discuss that I regret in my sex life is confusing purity culture for self-preservation. Like, I regret doing this so much. I regret doing it pre myself having sex because it's literally the thing that set me up for shame or to feel shame post having sex. So purity culture basically would tells you your value diminishes with as you have sexual experiences, and especially as a woman. And so before I had sex, I was just like, I'm the it because I ain't having sex. And and I felt pompous, and what the fuck is pompous? I felt superior, and which is literally what purity culture wants you to do. It wants you to feel that you're at your best, or your prime is pre your sexual experiences, which is so weird because bro, we're here through sex. So how the fuck is the best time of my life before I have sex? That shit don't make sense. And then post me starting having sex, I still confused purity culture for self-preservation, and that is why I felt shame. That's why I think most people, all of us, that's why you feel shame about it, is because you don't truly understand what self-preservation is. And so your idea of it, which is purity culture, makes you ashamed of yourself the moment you are not pure. And not being pure is a clearly defined thing. The moment you've had a sexual experience, you're not pure anymore. And it's just like, nobody wants to be impure, and so obviously when you've had a natural experience, sex, and you view it as something that reduces your value, and deems you impure. Obviously, after you've had the sex, you're ashamed of yourself now because you're impure. You're not. You see, it just birthed a lot of shame for me around my sexual experiences, and I just didn't like it. I wish the message of self-preservation was being spread out more healthily than what purity culture does, because I really do believe in self-preservation. I really do believe in practicing preserving yourself and like being healthy about how you go about your sexual life or your sex experiences. The second thing that I'd like to go into is I regret having sex out of rebellion. Like, I really regret having, like, because here's what happens when you're young and people tell you not to have sex because boys will just leave it with babies, or boys will just use you and stuff like that. And when I was young, I was just like, guys, boys are not terrible people. Like, leave me alone. I'll just, they like me, you know. And so you go and you experience or you interact with these people out of rebellion from society, you know. I did that. I know I did that. And I regret it because society was right about your sexual experiences at a young age being, I don't know how to put this. Society was right about boys not like just having sex for sex, but the thing about it is that society creates boys and men to be like this in the future. Like you're a product of a society. Every single individual is a product of society. So they were right about warning me and telling me not to be naive. However, in the same warning, they were creating a reality. They were creating the reality where boys suck because they taught boys whatever they taught boys. But yeah, that's that on that. Like I wish I had sex in a safe society, a society where like being taken advantage of when you're sharing yourself so intimately is not a thing, which is not this society. This society is a thing. That's a norm. If you're not paparapap of the fact that you can be taken advantage of by someone you're literally choosing to share yourself with, if you're not paparapap of that and you're not aware of the possibility of that, we shame you in this society. You're the one who's the naive one. You're the idiot and whatnot. And I think that's such a weird thing because it just removes responsibility from society at large for the production of the problem and then places blame on individuals for navigating the problem as best as they can, which is funny because these individuals are literally inexperienced people. I was an inexperienced person and I'm gonna get judged on navigating a society that people created. I'm being judged by this society. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird. So I really wish I hadn't had sex out of rebellion, and I think that translates into I wish I was having my sexual experiences in a healthy society. So, which is what we don't got. We don't got that yet. We're gonna get it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna build a better society. I am sure of it. I'm 100% sure of it. And that's on period. And the thing about an improving society and a better, like, healthier society where people aren't shamed for being themselves, the thing about that society, I think it's gonna have healthy people as fuck. It's gonna have like the best sexual experiences on earth. Like, guys, you guys don't understand how much abundance is yet to be felt by the human race post the detoxification of these weird systems, you know. But anyway, that's not you know, I think that my passion for I guess social activism is starting to like poke its head out even when I talk about this sex stuff. And I couldn't be happier about it, you know. I couldn't be happier about it. It's so, because when I learn about like society and its social ills, I don't particularly focus on sex when I do that stuff. It's really about the lives of people and how they've turned out. And it's so cool for me to be talking about sex and see how this system, this society that I'm trying to understand or trying to dismantle or just deconstruct also relates to sex, like, and just how we show up in society in our sexual experiences. You know, it's such a wild thing to really see that everyone is truly a function of the society they are in. Like, the stats about women like not having maximum pleasure sexually, the minimal information on reaching climax or just deriving pleasure from sexual engagements, the minimal info of that in society for women It's just proof of this, of the system. It's proof of society. The fact that we're struggling so hard with orgasms as women has to do with society. And it's just like, honestly, for me, I just like to embrace my ability to see like how all the how the puzzle comes together, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next thing I regret very much is having my sexual interactions focus on the pleasure of my partner above mine. So you guys know, when you start having sex, the main chat, like just generally in society, with you, even with yourself, it's just the giving of the pleasure. How do you, I think even men, same thing. I think also you guys concern yourself with one of the first things you concern yourself with when you start being interested in sexual engagement is pleasuring the person you're engaging with. Because I don't know why. I actually don't know why. I don't know why. But I feel like personally the first thing I was ever focused on was giving my partner pleasure. And I think that the first thing I should have been focused on was deriving pleasure myself, you know. So yeah, I really do regret that, because obviously I think it just it slowed down my process of my journey to pleasure, you know. But I'm still on it. Like, I'm still on my journey to pleasure. I'm still improving the pleasure I receive, so it's still fine, you know. It's not a train smash, it's still fine. The next thing that I regret is not asking more questions. In any way, I regret not asking my mom what the fuck sex was. I regret not asking my dad what the fuck sex is. I regret not asking people how and why they have sex. I regret it. Actually, guys, why and how do you have sex? I regret not asking people about their first experiences. I regret not asking the guy who first inserted his penis inside me, how did it feel? I regret not asking myself, how the fuck does this feel? I regret not asking questions, because boy do I have questions, and now I sit by myself answerlessly and having adopted the pattern of shutting up and not asking the questions. So like, it's just weird. So it's weird. Like, I regret not asking the questions because they've gotten me into the pattern of not asking questions. So the not asking has gotten me into the pattern of not asking, and that kind of sucks. But I don't know, I think I'm just like working on creating a society or a community, or like a space around me where people can ask questions, can ask me questions, younger people, to be quite honest. Yeah. Anyway, let's do number 5, which is literally the last thing that I regret. And this is very important, guys. This is so serious because it has to do with my image of myself. And I just think like I need to, this is something I'm actually working on. Anyway, without wasting time, let's just do it. The last thing that I regret, guys, is turning down head. Every single time I've ever turned down head, ever since my mind-blowing head experience, every time I've ever turned down head, I regret it, guys. I regret it because I never turned it down because I didn't want to. I turned it down because I was a victim of purity culture. Or not purity culture, just self-shame, bro. Like, you know, I spoke a little bit about vaginal odor and destigmatizing it in one of my videos, but that whole shebang of just vaginas generally being hidden, you feeling like yours needs to be hidden because the moment you expose yours and the moment yours has interaction and is being interacted with, you start to decrease in value. You know, that thing is taught to you so early that like, even when you're aware that you were taught these things, even when you're aware that purity culture sucks, you still find yourself victim. Literally I catch myself feeling like, please don't do it, you know, because I'm ashamed, because I'm just like shy with my body, and just, Yeah, which just sucks. Like, it sucks that we live in a society that just has people ashamed of who they are. It's weird. But I'm working on it, child. You guys in your sucky society and your sucky systems are not gonna win. I'm gonna I think I've said this before. I'm actively trying to be more confident about exactly what I want in terms of pleasure. So I'm like, guys, unless you just, I think you suck, I'm not turning down head. I'm not turning down head from here onwards. Actually, let me push it a step further and say I will be requesting head, because ultimately I deserve it, and I know this. I know it. I know that I deserve the pleasure, and I'm just gonna act like I know it. And that's that on that. Thank you guys for hanging through February with me. Can we start growing my subscriptions now? Please, come on, subscribe, guys. Subscribe to my DM channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, please give it a thumbs up. Drop comments. Tell me what are things you regret, things you'd like to have younger people know before they get into their sexual journeys, or while Lynn and I still have so much to learn. So I would totally like appreciate like people letting us like just be honest about your journeys, guys, what you regret, what you're working on, what you want to do better on, stuff like that. Please drop a comment. That is it from me, guys, and I will see you in my next video next week, same time, same place.